Hey guys, Terry from Cosplay here. We're chilling out and relaxing for well, it's a Monday and it's actually, no, it's a Tuesday and a Monday elsewhere. Going to be chatting with Chapter Master Valrak for a little bit over in the UK about all sorts of bits and pieces, Warhammer, cosplay, probably coronavirus. See where we go with that. It seems to be the topic of the month. So we're going to enjoy ourselves, chill out, have some fun, and come and join us. So here we
Yeah,
have Chapter
here we
Master
are.
Valrak.
Hello, everyone. It's really weird because I'm seeing this like live, and then I'm also seeing it on my other screen. So I'm like, am I moving slow or am I moving fast? No. So hello, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I think this is the first time I've ever been on like Facebook, and well, I always to restream to Twitch and Facebook, YouTube, but first time on Facebook. So yeah, new
Nice. Well,
experience.
we're going through to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, um, and Daily Motion. We're actually going through to Daily Motion.
Daily Motion is that still around? Oh crap, that takes me back. Daily Motion. Yeah,
Yeah, they've
don't
got
know that takes me back to.
they've actually got the whole live stream thing going now on Daily Motion. So I decided to connect up and see where it went. So anyway,
Mm.
we've got Odds joined us. He's said hello, and
Hey, Odd.
so is
Generic Edgelord. Yeah,
yeah.
I know Generic Edgelord. He is for my stream.
Yep. Yes. Yes. This.
What are you having that get on? He says.
Welcome to my
Get out, bot.
stream. So, as you can probably see in the background, I don't have the Terminator really set up at the moment because I just spent the weekend at Supernova Gold Coast, which is probably the last convention we're having this year, thanks to our lovely friend Corona. And
Yep, that's it. No more anything now.
no more anything.
Nothing.
I heard that Warhammer Fest is gone now too.
Completely cancelled. Warhammer Fest and anything that was happening at Warhammer World itself. So all the tournaments, because Warhammer World actually hosts some small reveals itself. Obviously not on the scale of Warhammer Fest. So all of them are closed now for the foreseeable future as well. So it's yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually shut down their gaming hall anytime soon. He actually may have already. I haven't really read the article. I just got a message off someone saying Warhammer Fest is been cancelled, which, to be fair, it was expected. I'm not even really shocked about it, to be fair, because I knew this was going to happen with this whole Corona thing. So
Yeah,
yeah.
we've got a little bit of a lag going on in your camera. It seems to be freezing in different sections. It's
Oh crap!
probably everybody sitting at home on the internet right now.
No
So
screen cap my face on like this.
it's like I'll just get that face off. So so we got a few more people cut in as well. Revenant Rishardi, hello, hello.
Mm.
Odds Fabulous Bile is 90% done. Oh, Fabius Bile, sorry. Fabius Bile is 90% done. So, Odd is actually building Fabius Bile as a cosplay costume.
Oh really? That's pretty cool. That's
So,
very nice.
I've seen the progress photos. It looks really good. So, he's going to town. He's taking his time, but at the same time, I think it's going to come out really nice.
It's nice,
Um,
yeah. You having
so,
like all like the full like white hair and stuff like that, like
oh, if I know Odd, he's going to
going
go to
with it.
town on it. He's just going to go
Yeah.
ballistic. So we got Desiree from Switzerland. She's gone hello. She's in lockdown right now, along with the rest of Switzerland. So
Cool.
and
Well,
Blackstone Chapter Master. Sup, sup, dude.
welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome on YouTube. Um, I take a voice chat, is it on? Because I need to say I'm sorry, Valrak, and I love Dawn as the Emperor's favorite son. Wait, what? What? I think there's some
Well,
loving things going on with Ruggle that I have no idea. Just embrace the Dawn side of you.
embrace the
Yes.
dawn side.
Mm,
Embrace the dawn and the
yep.
darkness. So I got a little bit of bragging rights to do. I walked in my Terminator costume in public.
Is it? Is
So
there any like video of it? I don't think I've seen a video of it.
yeah,
Actually, no, I
there is
lie.
video. There is video. I'm still trying to get some of the video from some of the people because obviously I can't video myself. And my lovely wife and her two
Mm.
associates from Blue Delirium Cosplay were dressed up as the Sisters of Battle, and they were my crowd control, along with about 15 other people. It was insane.
Everyone move up the way.
So
It's just
it was difficult
did
at
you?
best, even though the aisles were wide, very wide.
Mm,
Because I'm 6 foot wide and has zero peripheral vision. Because I
yeah.
didn't I didn't actually realize that once you're inside that hutch, that's all you can see.
Well, this is the thing you have to remember as a space marine. That's why Terminator armor it looks cool, but it's probably the worst thing you can ever be in because once you're in there, you can only just see in front of you, and that's it. You can't see to your left or your right. Of course, they have all sensors and the machine spirits and stuff in the lore, but a normal guy inside the Terminator, it's
Well, I
like
mean, yeah,
I'm just going
it's like
forward. That's
the
all I can see.
practicality of it is like, you have to have all that stuff written into the backstory because, you know, the model itself, you can't see shit. I'll tell you
Yeah.
right now, and you can't hear anything. The whole hutch acts like a sound tunnel, so which also helps when you
Mm.
actually want to say something like, for the Emperor. It just echoes
Did
through everything.
did you because I all the pictures I saw you had your face out. Did you not take your helmet or was there like a problem with
No,
the
no, no,
helmet or
no,
something
no. I
like that?
had I
Because
had the helmet
I
with
saw your
me.
fans failed. So
Yeah.
was it
So
was
what?
it failing the helmet?
No, no. The helmet fans worked, and even the new camera system works. So I've got the iPhone 6 in the nose of the camera of the helmet, and then I've got a tiny little Wi-Fi security camera which connects up, and I can put that up in the hutch, and it,
Okay.
it gives me great vision. But the problem was the crowds were
Cameras and
so
stuff.
thick. There were so many people that I didn't want to risk doing a first walk with a camera system
Yeah.
with a helmet on. So
Mm.
there was about 3 or 4 times where I did, get somebody to put the helmet on me for photos and bits and pieces, but the camera wasn't
Mm.
on and everything like that. So all I was seeing was the red glow of the lights inside my helmet and hearing fans. I couldn't even hear anything else. So I'm standing there, a little over 10 feet tall, on rickety stilts. Well, it felt rickety, and trying to keep my balance with nothing to actually look at apart from the front of the helmet. So it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
daunting. So, but I will, I've gone through a whole bunch of, I suppose, issues and come up with a bunch of solutions already. So I'll be building that in very soon, and then I'll be
You
able
need to come up with like proper flamers so you just burn people in your way.
to.
Just flame them. Get out the way, heretic.
Well,
Just
that's on my
purge
next one.
them.
So,
Yeah, I've seen some demo pics of that. It looks very very nice.
yeah,
Or
my
should I
next
say, well
costume,
worth
guys, is a Primaris Aggressor,
Yeah,
and
that'd be so cool.
it's going to be
Well,
awesome.
if I'm thinking that is that going to be bigger than the Terminator suit?
Well,
What you planning that you've got now, or is it going to be like the same kind of height size?
let's
Because I
have
think
let's have a little a lore chat here. Okay, now a Space Marine's height is around 7.5, 7.6, correct or not?
um, well, there's a lot of debate because you have some Space Marines that are bigger than the others one, but you normally put it to around 7 foot at least. Um, but with the Primaris, they're supposed to be head and shoulders taller than the average Space Marine. Like I just read a book. What book was it? I think it was the Fist of Dawn or something like that. It's about Gene Stealer cults, and there's a Space Marine in there who's a normal Space Marine. He's not Primaris. And when he
Mm.
stood next to a Primaris, because he was so tall as a normal Space Marine, he's the same height as a Primaris Marine, but he's known as being tall among his own kin. So it's one of them things you can do it as like the
Mm.
same size and say you can go along with that if you wanted to. It
Well,
really all
yeah.
depends on like the scale and stuff really and what you feel comfortable with. You don't want it too big, do you? Because maybe it might be an issue then, like
Well, I mean,
walking
too
and
big
stuff
comes
like that.
down to internal infrastructure and things like that and framework.
Mm,
But the main thing I think, because I did a lot of homework on the Terminator to get him right.
yeah.
They're just a touch over 10 foot tall, and
Mm,
my costume is a touch over 10 foot tall. And I think the proportions are pretty good. The only thing I think is a downfall is the Power Fist. I think is a little bit too big. Um,
right. Okay.
but in saying that, I kind of just free-handed that and hope for the best.
Yeah.
So,
It looks okay. Like from all the pictures I've saw, I think it looks cool. Looks amazing.
oh yeah,
But
I mean, I'm talking only a
you'll know
few.
best, won't you?
Yeah, I'm talking only a few percent bigger, as in like it could
Right.
just be
Okay.
that slightly bit smaller.
Mm.
Oh God, somebody, my son has come on. He says, "Go on, build a dreadnought."
That's it. You have to do it now. You have to build it.
Yeah.
Build dreadnought. A fully automatable dreadnought, so you can get in it and walk it like a mech suit and smash through walls and stuff. God,
Yeah,
it
it's
has to
like
be that.
raw.
Yeah.
But that was the biggest problem about being at the con is most of the doors were like around about 8 feet, so there was no hope in hell I was going to
You
fit through a door.
have to open like the storage unit, like where they bring all the cargo in, just to let you walk in the building.
Ironically, that's
How
exactly what they did, but not
did
exactly
they?
walking in. But the organisers of the convention were fantastic, and they allowed me to come onto the con floor at about 8:30 in the morning, where the con opened at 10, um,
Oh, that's
and
good of them then.
and bring the whole costume
Yeah.
in, put it into a space, and then obviously I had to wait until the con opened before everyone else got in there that could help me suit up. And I put out a call to like on Brisbane cosplayers group for help to suit up. And I
Right.
got I got two or three responses, and I thought, great, that should be enough. About 15 people helped out. It was all hands on deck, and there was hands everywhere. Um,
That's great.
I was suited up in that Terminator in 20 minutes.
Oh, is that good or bad? I'm not
Oh,
too
that no,
sure.
that's
Like how long
insanely
it
good.
takes. Oh,
When I did my first walk test, I only had my wife and a friend of mine, Alex, helping suit me
mm.
up, and it took around about an hour to suit up.
Oh bloody
So
hell, that's long then.
it's
An hour
very
to get
long.
in
And I mean,
there.
actually standing there carrying that sort of weight for that period of time, just in the one spot, it's fatiguing at best.
Was
Um,
it like one of them conventions where you go and you win prizes for being like the best dressed, or
Oh
was it
yeah, yeah.
just
There was cosplay
straight?
contests and stuff like that. But
Okay.
and I got asked by a few of the cosplayers that were in the contests, and there's a major contest called Odyssey where the grand prize for Australia is a trip to Dragon Con. Um,
What's
and
that? I'm not familiar with all these
Oh no,
cons
Dragon
and
Con
stuff
is
like
in the
that.
US, so it's a fifteen
Right.
thousand
Okay.
dollar prize pack where you get flights and accommodation and tickets and all the rest of it, everything paid, and you go over and
That's
then
really
you
good.
compete in the contest over there. Um, and Dragon Con, I think, is probably the largest um, convention, as in pop culture, comic, and cosplay convention on the planet. It goes for
Really?
5 days.
Wow.
It's it's held in actually I can't even remember where it's held, but there's like I think 5 hotels in this big circle, and all the hotels are booked out with you know con goers and cosplayers and everything, and it's just
Everything.
it's convention all day. It's nightclubs and partying all night in costume. Um,
Mm.
it's like it's a 24-hour, 5 day event that just goes and goes and goes. And
Let's say if you won that, would they pay you shipping for your like? Let's say you want to take your Terminator suit, you want your Terminator suit. Would they pay for the shipping all over to the US with that and everything? Like, is that all included in it?
theoretically, I think have to be some negotiation on that. But
Right. Okay.
the downside is I couldn't even compete
Why?
because
When?
one of the it wasn't written in the rules of the contest, but when I went to compete last year, obviously I'd built the Terminator last year for the contest,
Mm.
and the rules were if you can't make it into the um, like into where they're having the contest, then you can't enter.
It's pretty weird.
And I was like, oh.
But in a way you did though, didn't you? Really? Because you just like use a surface hatch. So you say, "Hey, I use a surface hatch." What's the
But
problem
the
with that?
problem is, I mean, in the theater where they have it, it's staggered down, so you have stairs going all the way down, which I wouldn't be able to
Oh,
get down the
okay.
stairs.
Yeah.
Then they got this little tiny stage at the bottom of it, of this amphitheater style setup. So getting down in any large costume is impossible. I mean, purely impossible. So you have to get suited
Yeah.
up down there, do your bit, and then off you go. And at the same time, I'm really impressed with with what I did with the Terminator, and
Mm.
it is international contest ready if you would if
Yeah.
you want to go down that road. But at the end of the day, I'm probably never going to compete in a contest with him. He's more of look what I did. I've got my own Terminator.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. Oh,
So
that sucks then. Yeah, because I think I'm not going to say I'm not trying to be biased, but I definitely think you would have won when it came to that event. With ease,
Oh, but
let's say.
there are a lot of other aspects to the contest. I mean, it's not just foam work. I mean, it's not just how fantastic the costume looks. You've got electronics, you've got makeup, you've got prosthetics, you've
Oh,
got
they do it all.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's you've
Okay.
got sewing, you've got there's so many different techniques that's required to be able to become an all-rounder and win the contest.
Right. Okay.
Alt F4 cosplay. She's from I think Melbourne, if I remember right, maybe Adelaide, somewhere down there, down south. She won it last year, and she is absolutely yeah, she's brilliant. I mean, her work is second to none. Um,
What costume was it that won? Is it like sci-fi
Actually,
or is it
I,
just?
just fantasy gaming stuff and things like that. I mean, the beauty about cosplay is you can build whatever the hell you want, as long as you can make it work.
See, this is my problem: is that if it's not, there's only three things that does me for sci-fi, and I'm really not interested in anything else. It's 40k, like AOS. I'm not really into AOS, so I love fantasy. So when that comes back, I'm definitely getting back into that.
Mm.
Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I haven't really been watching the new stuff because I just didn't like the story. I think the action's amazing. Like I watched that Rise of the Skywalker the other day. Now it's out in digital, and I
Mm.
thought, wow, this is really really good. The visual effects and stuff like that. Like when they're like shooting stormtroopers, are actually like the force of the shots is like blowing them over and stuff like that. It's not like just the wimpy ones that you expected back in the day.
Yeah, it's like,
But
oh,
it's like
this light beam's
I
just
was
hit me in the chest. It's like, oh, oh.
yeah, it like just rips them apart and stuff like wow, this is amazing. And then but it's just the story is like, oh, this is so crap the story. But I've been watching that Mandalorian and I absolutely love that. So hopefully that will carry on for 60. And Lord of the Rings, I'm absolutely mad for Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, look,
So
Lord of the Rings is that's epic level now. But Mandalorian's
mm.
really cut in nice. Actually, have you watched Altered Carbon?
I I watched the start of the first couple of episodes. I went off it. I think something else came out at the time, and I just went onto that. I never got back into it. But I've started season two, and it just summed it all up what happened. So I know what happens in season one, and I'm
Yeah,
starting
it
season
kind of
two at the
shortcuts
moment.
in that first 10
Yeah,
minutes.
I
It's like,
basically shocked, and I was like, well, okay, so that all happened. People like the clothing and stuff, and then like it's a different guy now for season two. It's like okay, that's okay. I'm caught up. That'll do me.
yeah, they kind of
But
made it
yeah,
work. I mean, I thought it would fall over,
mm,
but it kind of worked.
mm. Yeah,
And
I think it's pretty decent.
I liked it. I thought it was good. But yeah, so yeah, Mandalorian is surprisingly I didn't see as many Mandalorian costumes as I thought I
I,
would at the
do you know
convention.
what? That's one of the first things I thought of. Like when I watched this, I was like, I bet everyone wants to be a Mandalorian now because like when they're showing off like all the different Mandalorian armors and like the heavy assault guys, like I bet when like Terry goes to the cons, he's just going to be surrounded by Mandalorians and he's like space marine stuff. It's like fending them off. God, heretic stuff
But
like
I
that.
mean, we had another friend of mine, Jay, turned up in his Space Wolf. So we had a Space Wolf there.
I saw him, the guy with the mohawk. Yeah, I
Yep.
saw the picture of that guy. Yeah, he looked pretty
And
cool.
I saw a young girl dressed up as a uh, what was she? Mechanicus. What do you call those guys? I've lost it now.
Skatara, Tech Priest,
Tech priest.
Tech
She
Priest.
was
Okay.
yeah, and it was just cute how she'd sort of done the cloak and the little mask thing, and then I think she
Mm.
had a bit of a tight bodysuit on, so it was like this sexy version of Tech Priest.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah,
So
it's always cool seeing 40k stuff because you tend to see like the 40k people who get dressed up really go into it, and it's like proper all to the lore and stuff like that. Where you see with other people get dressed up, then they're not really into it. But it's always the 40k fans are like fanatics
oh,
over it, and they go completely overboard, which is awesome.
and
Always
and
like to
and,
see
and
stuff
it's
like
getting
that.
better and better and better. I'm seeing yeah, every time I go out, and I've only been in this 2 years now, but every time I go out, I
Hmm.
see better and bigger and nicer costumes continuously over and over. It's just you know it's fantastic. So for me, the conventions are that's not just your showcase, but it's your going and checking out everybody else's stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah. That's just about it. Yeah. Well, I don't think there is going to be any more cons now. I'd say in the foreseeable future. Was there any more you're planning to go to this year
I'd
with your
actually,
stuff?
yeah, I had Magneticon up in Townsville. Unfortunately, it got cancelled because of financial reasons, but it's luckily they did because they would have had to cancel anyway.
Okay.
Um, so oh, hang on, what do we got down here? Norn Queen Alexis. Oh, Norn Queen Alexis. Hi, darling. How you doing? um,
Hello.
uh,
Hello.
she says better cosplays. Damn, I'm barely keeping up. So,
I've
um,
got my cosplay. Should I put my cosplay on?
yeah, you better put your cosplay on.
I need to take my headset off if I do. I won't be able to hear you though if I do this. We forgot to build speakers.
Yeah, do
You
the
know it.
voice. Do the voice. You got to,
So yeah,
yeah.
this is.
Do the voice.
I can't do my voice because it's connected to. Actually, can I do my voice? Hang on. Hang on.
So
I think
for
I
those
can.
of you that don't know, I made Vorak the helmet as a gift for him because he's such a cool guy. He so wanted his own chapter helmet. For Dorn. Alex Graham, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the stream. And what else we got here? Okay. Yeah, no, you've gone quiet, dude. Can't hear you. In the meantime, I'll read some of the comments out. Revan has asked, "Is DragonCon happening this year?" I have no idea. I mean, I haven't heard anything back from it. And DragonCon's in Atlanta. Thanks, Alexis, for letting us know that. Um, I dare say DragonCon will be cancelled along with every other con because as soon as they go over the um, that whole yeah, there you go. You're
Oh
back.
yeah. Sorry. Woof, woof.
All right. Your camera keeps freezing in the most unusual facial expressions. It's cool.
I'm gonna have so many screen caps when I go to my Discord. Here's a new Valrak meme face. I swear to God, the people when I stream, they make some awesome memes of myself. Like just
Just
they just pause it
it's like,
at the most random time, and I come to my supporter room like where all the people go like who support my channel, and there's just so many memes there, and it's hilarious. I love them all.
I've got no idea why it's
So
freezing
good.
because it never has before. It's always been really really good.
I think it may be because maybe I don't know. Is it this Google thing?
Well, yeah, Google
I'm not
Hangouts has
too
never
sure.
really locked up or frozen. It's been nice and fluid every other time, but for some unknown reason, it's just you. It,
Is everyone who's locked in on quarantine just going on? Get off the internet.
yeah, get off the
Get
internet.
off.
Let us have the
Get
internet.
off right
We're
now.
trying to stream here. So Odd's waiting for a new model of Fabius Bile so he can get the backpack right.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, there's actually. I'm just gonna put this guy on my head here. I'll
yeah,
just
there you
hold it here. You can see.
go.
Um, there's there's actually a bit of a screenshot of his backpack already out, isn't there? And but it's yeah, but it's not a full version. But he well, I think the stuff they were planning to reveal at Adepticon was going to be Fabius Bile, the probably last awake Psychic Awakening books, and some Primera stuff, and of course 8.5 / ninth edition, which has been talked about for so long now.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, hopefully you shouldn't have to wait for too long. You can see it all then. I actually really like Fabius Bile. I think he's an awesome character. Really like him. It's pretty cool.
Jolio says Alfarius messed with Hangouts.
Yep. Yep. He did. He did. He
So,
posted probably something.
yeah, where were we up to before all of
I
that?
have no idea. I think we talked about the con's being cancelled. We're
Yeah,
like,
so actually, Adepticon got cancelled.
yeah, that's going to get cancelled. What else? Well, as we said at the start, Warhammer Fest is kind of all the big all the Warhammer stuff so far is completely gone out the window. That's really all I keep track of. I don't really know any other big events to be completely fair. But yeah, it's just one of those things now. It's just well, I don't know if anyone else is like self-confining, but I'm about to bunker down very very soon and just wait it out, as they say, and
We'll
see
just
where it
we'll
goes
just sit
from
on
there.
24-hour live streams, just streaming to the
Just sitting
planet.
here like
Yeah, guys, I'm just gonna drink some coffee and you know
this.
I'll play with my keys for a little while.
I'll sit here with this Imperial Fist helmet on and read from the Imperial Fist Codex every single line, every single page, just going over it bit by bit. And
I
on the
can
fifth day,
I can always grab my helmet. Hang on a second. Oh,
just
oh,
sit here having a casual discussion.
there we go. Mine's bigger than yours is.
It's not how big it is; it's how you use it. You should know this by now, Tara. Come
Oh,
on
and
now.
the
And
battery's flat too. Look at
the...
that. I
so
got no
cool.
lights. So I don't know if you can actually see. It's all padded out inside now. Um, Fans, etc. And there's an iPhone 6 up in the nose for the viewing, and yeah, so it's pretty cool. So not bad for a
Yeah,
free-handed
yours is
helmet.
awesome. I think it's awesome. I love my. Well, do you know like when you put your because you put your you got some glasses, didn't you? Some sunglasses, and you knocked them out for me, and you
Yeah.
put them in there. But what I did is that I took my because I wear glasses, and if I put them on, I can't really see. So what I did, I had a pair of prescription sunglasses, so I just ripped them apart and stuck the lenses in there, so I can officially see out of this now. And
Oh,
they're
nice.
actually,
I thought it looked a bit different.
yeah, they're actually sunglasses. So I can drive around in this without the sun getting in my eyes and stuff. Just turn to someone who didn't let me in
I
and
could just
going,
imagine
"Ugh, ugh,"
pulling up and
just
go grocery
just
shopping in the helmet.
just heavy breathing. Yeah,
Cop
let
pulls you
me in,
over. It's
Perky.
like,
Yeah.
excuse me, sir, you were. Oh shit.
Do you know how fast you're going? I don't answer to you. I answer to the Emperor of Mankind. Only just drive off.
Are you the Emperor of Mankind? No.
Probably see on the news, man arrested in Space Marine helmet for refusing to obey the law.
Oh shit. So all right, well, getting on back to the cause. Actually, we'll get back to Adapticon for a second because I did hear you mention something about there was going to be a Games Workshop Angel of Death release at Adapticon.
well, well, that's something was planned there for Angels of Death. I don't know what it was. I personally thought that it would be something to do with maybe showing off like the first episode to like get everyone hyped up for it. So maybe just the people in the arena get to see, or what I say the arena, the people in there get to see it, or
Hmm.
maybe like at the a full on trailer because we've only had the teaser trailer so far. Maybe I don't know the people who are involved in it. Maybe they'd be there doing a Q&A or something, getting people's questions. Because the thing what they said, this was going to be a 2 hours worth event just showing stuff off. That's not
Mm.
the that's just a Q&A side. Because if you, for those of you who've been, you'll know what normally happens. Like at Warhammer Fest, there's normally around 20 to about half an hour's worth of previews, where they just show off trailers and stuff like that. And that's basically it. Show off new pictures and stuff. Um, and then most of the event is just you asking questions to them. And I always put my hand up and go, "When's the Primark coming out?" And then they can't answer that this time. Not this guy again. For this to be 2 hours worth of just showing new stuff off, I was like, "Holy crap!" There's got to be a lot of stuff shown here, and that's why I thought maybe they'll show off one of the first episodes because that may take a big chunk of like the time of showing that off. But of course, with that out of the way now, um, well, they did say they are moving the previews to online, so I wonder if they'll do it online. Actually, the way they worded it online in their article is that they said you'll be able to do the Q&A online with the developers. So I'm thinking that they're going to be doing this through a Twitch stream instead. They're just going to be doing the preview instead of doing it in a hall with a set bunch of audience members. They're just going to be doing it via Twitch, and everyone's going to be on there. But of course, to ask questions on Twitch, you have to subscribe to their channel, which is like $5 a month. So kind of is a bit of a paywall if you want to ask people stuff.
Yeah,
So it's
that's a
up
bit
to
of
you.
a problem. We don't do that here.
Yeah, yeah.
Patreon, 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 Patreon. um, So,
Throw
generic
me
edge,
money.
generic edgelords come back and said, Valrak going to the store for milk, corn flakes, and bacon.
Get out. Such heresy. Such
Heresy.
heresy. Such heresy. Such
Uh,
get out.
Revan's asked, will the 21st Primarch be announced? Probably not.
Lies.
Uh,
Avoid queues. Supermarket at dawn to avoid the queues. I get that. I get that, Stefan. I understand,
oh,
bro.
and now it starts.
Yep.
These are gonna be the new memes.
Yep. You've started the dawn memes. It's started now.
It's
This is all I get
begun.
on my streams is the dawn memes.
So, what are we up to? Okay, yeah, Adepticon, that's done. Yeah, they're probably going to do an online version. Like, actually, C2E2's gone online this year.
What's that?
Um,
I have no idea what that is.
C2E2 is like a big gaming convention over in the States, where
Okay.
they display all the new games and new upcoming stuff and bits and pieces, and it's a big
Oh
cosplay
yeah,
thing too.
yeah, yeah. Because
So,
E3 got cancelled as well, didn't it? They stopped
yeah, yeah.
E3. Like, yeah, because my people, some of my friends who are really big into like proper. I'm not really big into video. Well, I am, but I'm not like they are. They were like, "Oh my god, there's supposed to be so many big announcements coming today," and I was like, "Oh god damn." As well.
Speaking about that,
But
when are we playing Space Marine together? Huh? Huh? Huh?
yeah, we need to do that, don't we? We need to do that. The thing is, when I play Space Marine, though, everyone just goes out to kill me. It's not fair because they just want to get a Valrak kill. It's like, God damn it, guys, get out of the way.
Yeah, because
So,
you're
but
big and yellow. I mean, come on, you stand out
well,
like.
I'm yellow, so I give people a chance because I'm that good at the game. It's just, I'm over here, guys. I just give these guys a head start. I still
I'll
win.
just run out from this barricade. Oh dear. So oh god. It's just Valrak, or is it getting Dawny in here? It
There
has
we go.
started.
There it is. It's started. I tell you.
So oh, Valrak's an Iron Warrior at heart. Hmm.
Lies.
So
Lies.
it's flowing in now. All right. So what are we up to? Yeah, actually, I wanted to tell you about my next cosplay.
Yeah,
Because
do it.
obviously it's going to be Warhammer. It's going to be Warhammer 40k as usual, and I'm going with the new theme, and I'm making a Primaris Aggressor.
Ooh, nice. What
So
what chapter is it? Going to be the same chapter?
Angels of Vengeance, come on.
Angels of Vengeance. Okay. Just thought, you may want to go with a cool chapter and do a Son of Dawn or something.
What, and painting
Be a
bright
really
yellow?
cool.
I mean, admittedly,
Well,
I still got a liter of that yellow paint sitting here.
you could do it as like a Black Templar or something, or the Zeal and Fury. Sure, that'll turn a lot of heads.
Yeah, but see,
The
I
Black
like.
Templar fans in 40k are like the weirdest and most awesome people in the world. They're like they're just like Black Templars. They're really cool, but would you really invite them to any parties? No, you wouldn't. It's just one of them things.
Would you
Crimson
invite
Fistful
an Angels of Vengeance to a party? Hell no.
guy. Too many secrets.
Exactly, too many
Too
secrets.
many.
But no, the instead of actually making the model myself, I got a guy on Fiverr over in India to model up the figure. So I sent him all sorts of reference pictures and stuff, and obviously, his English is only basic, but it's taken 2 months to get a very respectable sectional model. So everything's broken down. So shoulders, chest, arms, hands, helmet, etc. It's all separated out. So I can literally just take each individual part, turn it into a pattern, put it into another program called ArmorSmith Designer, which
Mm-hmm.
is I don't know, you wouldn't know about Pepakura. Pepakura is
No, this is just
it's
going all over my head. It's
yeah.
yeah, it's
So
yeah, yeah.
cosplay 101, when you want to make a costume and you've got yourself a 3D model, you can take that 3D model and you put it into this program called Pepakura, which is a Japanese paper folding program. Like origami,
Yep.
um, where you take the model and then you say unfold, and it'll unfold it so that you can make it out of flat paper. So you make a pattern, and
Right.
then you print that out. Obviously, you make it to size, print it out,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
cut it out, and then trace it onto the foam and cut it out of foam and make it. That's how we make our costumes. And that way we can get the sizes right and everything like that. Now, getting onto the sizing, this is where Randy Kavanagh made a program called ArmorSmith, and It's just for pretty much for cosplayers, where you can take those Pepakura files and any other 3D type files, and you can apply them to a mannequin that's exactly your proportions.
Okay.
So
Well,
you
that's pretty
can
good
you
then.
can get, like, for instance, if you want to do a Mandalorian armor, you could literally resize everything just to fit you perfectly, like a glove.
Like a glove. That's pretty awesome.
So, and and then it punches it out as patterns, and then you obviously go ahead and make it. Um, and
Does it
it's
like print it out on paper and then you just like stick the paper to the foam and just cut around it? Is that basically what it is?
Yeah, you don't worry
What you
about
do?
sticking it to the foam. You just sort of put it down and then trace around it. Just
Trace.
like
Okay. Yeah.
it's basically like dressmaking with foam.
Right. Okay.
So
Well, I've
instead
never
of
made a dress, so I don't really know about that. But yeah, I get you. Yeah. You just print it
okay,
out and
it's
use.
like
Yeah.
terrain making with foam.
There we go. Yeah, I've done that. Okay. Tray making with foam.
Yeah, so you where
Yeah.
you've got your layer upon layer, that's pretty much what you're doing with foam, is you just layer
Yeah.
upon layer and then build it up and build it out. Um, and yeah, it helps to make, I suppose, those things reality, and it's making out of foam. So, but yeah, this Indian guy has done an amazing job at modeling this up, and I've got the initial models now. So, and now that we're probably going into lockdown, and I've got more than enough foam behind me, I might start building a Primaris Aggressor.
Oh, well, yeah, do it. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward because I haven't really seen any primary stuff at all. Like when it comes to like kit bashing and that kind of stuff. It's just something you just don't. You have just people haven't really jumped into. I've seen bits and pieces. I haven't really seen like a full on primary suit and to have like going. Well, you're basically skipping that stage and going straight to the next stage, which is the aggressor.
Well, here's
So
no,
that'd be
here's the
amazing.
kicker. This is the $42 million question. Is and something I figured out while studying the Primaris model itself, that you've got two
Mm,
different types of Primaris armor. You've got your
mm,
Phobos, which is your scout style armor,
yeah,
and then you've got your standard Primaris marine armor. Now, an aggressor and intercessor and all the rest of them are simply just the Primaris standard armor with stuff tacked on. So extra
yeah,
armor,
yeah,
extra weapons, extra bits, mini power fists, rocket
yeah,
launchers. The even the hutch that comes over the head is another whole section which sits on top of the
yeah,
existing Primaris chest.
yeah. Well. I forgot his name now. I shouldn't forget his name. He's the bloody main designer at GW. He's way back when he did his there's this podcast he does. I'll try and find it and send it to you. When he was explaining the design process for the Primaris, that's how they were designed. So you have like a basic the suit, and then it's just modified to fit something else straight away.
Okay,
That is the whole
Slave.
intention of the Primaris.
Yeah, Slave's come in and said there's three Primaris armors: Tacticus, Phobos, and Gravis.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah. I forgot his name. What's his name? I should know. He's massive at GW. He's like one of like the most well known designers, but I've completely forgot his name. It's gone out my head. I'll
But
remember it when I probably finish the stream. But yeah.
I mean, the Primaris armor, as far as a costume goes, looks like it's going to be a much easier costume to sort out than even a Space Marine. Mainly because everything seems to fit together better.
Well, you did the helmet. How was my helmet compared to doing your helmet?
Most of that helmet I had to freehand. Um,
Yeah.
the front faceplate is actually laser cut. Because I kind of cheat. I've got a laser cutter over on the side here.
Cheater.
Uh,
Yep.
but I mean, no, I wanted to make sure the vents on the front were very clean.
Right.
And
Okay.
obviously, your vents, you've got, according to your caricature that was
Mm.
done for you, you've got four slits each side, not three.
Yep. It's for all
And
that heavy shouting I do from it. I need that
all
extra
that heavy
vent to
breathing from running is
project.
going.
Yeah. Charge, kill. That's what we needed. Yeah.
So that's why I had to add some extra slots in there, on each side. And
Sweet.
but I ended up having to make a second faceplate entirely because the first one was that little bit too small, and it would have made it look like you were snub nosed instead. Um,
All right. Okay.
but yeah, the majority of that helmet is a kit bash between a Series 7 crown piece and just looking at a picture on the screen and just mocking it up from there. So there's no major patterns for that exact helmet.
Gotcha.
In other words, I can't remake that exact helmet. So it's
Also,
u- it's it's unique.
yeah, it's special. It's unique. Okay, that's cool.
Well, I tried to
There we
tell
go.
you it was special.
You've heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. I'll start the bidding at £500 for the helmet.
That's a bit cheap, isn't it?
I said to say start.
Oh, yeah, speaking of
Uh,
that, I mean, I posted up a bunch of videos and stuff on Reddit. I shouldn't have
mm.
done that. Reddit's a horrible, horrible place.
I've seen them because I upvoted them and I knew as soon as I clicked on it what the main message would be. Hey, how much does this cost? Could you do one for me? Because as
No,
soon as
I
I
think
posted my helmet,
I got that a couple of times.
mm,
But mostly it was, oh, look at the tiny head, and he looks like Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, what the fuck? People,
Do I look like Bill Murray?
no.
No. I
Unless
mean,
unless Bill Murray's changed in the last couple of years, which I haven't seen. No, you
I
definitely
find
have
that as
not.
a bit of a compliment because I like Bill Murray.
Mm.
He's a great actor. Um, but uh, but it was like, you put a human in a Terminator, and I guarantee you're gonna have a tiny head. It's
Well,
like you have
this
no
is
choice.
yeah. People expect you because you made the costume. You actually are a Terminator. It's like when people come to me and go, "Hey Valrak, you don't look anything like your Chapter Master Valrak portrait." I say, "Yes, because I'm not a 7 foot gene enhanced super soldier. I am a normal human being, and I have hair. So no, I don't look like Valrak at all." But yeah, it's just I don't know why people are strange sometimes.
Oh, actually,
I think it looks cool.
Norm Queen Alexa said, I still need a helmet for my sister of battle armor. Is that a hint? But
I
honestly,
think it's a massive hint.
look, I don't like the sister of battle helmets. They're horrifying. They're gross. Something's not right with them.
I personally think Sisters of Battle crap and Sisters of Silence are far superior. I think Sisters of Silence will absolutely trash Sisters of Battle if they ever had a big fight because
Oh
Sisters of
God.
Silence are just so much cooler. I,
Ouch.
I always have this
The
argument with
gauntlet
my
is
friend who's a
throwing
massive.
down.
I always have this argument with my friend who's a massive Sister of Battle fan. I always say, yeah, they're cool. I like them, but Sisters of Silence trump them every day. They, they were the Emperor's servants, and the Sisters of Battle are just they're just noobs compared to them. He
Uh,
always gets so mad. It's pretty fun. Um, but yeah,
okay. Jalio said, is the person who designed the Primaris armor Ray Danfield?
no, um, I don't know what his name is. he, he wears glasses. He wears glasses. He's got like a really gruffy voice. What's he called? He's the main designer at GW, like the lead design team. Um, oh my god,
I haven't got a
that's gonna
clue.
do my head in.
I mean, I will be the
Gonna do my
first to
head in.
admit I know practically nothing about the lore, practically nothing about the game. I've literally had a 5 minute intro to Warhammer gaming, and that's pretty much about it. So,
Mhm.
but I do like to research the models properly and to make the armor correctly because I don't like getting picked on.
Yeah, no, well, I'll tell you now. You probably got you have got the best Terminator suit or Space Marine suit I've ever seen
Oh,
ever.
thank you.
Like I've seen some really good ones out there, but yours is just the next level. It really is. When I saw you in there, I was like, holy crap! This is what a Space Marine how big it is, how bulky it is.
Yeah, and I mean,
It's amazing.
the Space Marine actually these days I wear it like like normal clothing. It's becomes
Mm,
almost like a second skin now. And
mm,
I can understand that after a while of getting a Primaris. Say let's go into the fantasy world. If I get to the Primaris level and or even the Space Marine level, and you get your first suit of armor, you're going to be clunking around in it. Not you're going to be fighting it. You're going to be having issues with it continuously. And then after
mm.
6 months or a year or so of wearing this, it's going to be like your second skin. And that's what my Space Marine is for me now. It's like a second skin. So
Mm.
getting in the Terminator, I mean, I did have a couple of failures. The first failure was even before I got suited up on Saturday morning. I dropped the battery for the body fans, so I had no fans whatsoever.
I bet that was hot, like in the Australian weather and
It
stuff
didn't,
like.
I could have been in the Arctic. I still would have been sweating like a pig. It
Mm.
was insane. I mean, it was so heavy, but at the same time, I'd also, when strapping up and getting into the rig, like I've got a full body harness inside, and I forgot to do up the actual kidney belt section, which keeps the whole chest stable. So having the chest, understand that the chest is sitting on my shoulders pretty much, and harness, but then it's got the shoulders on there and the arms hanging off it as well. So you've got this whole teetering balance thing going on. And it was moving a little bit too much. So that's why I looked. If you watch the videos of the walk videos, etc., I look a little bit awkward. Um, I think next time round I'll be a lot better
Mm.
because I'll remember to actually
Yeah,
do it up properly.
yeah. Well, it's like you said, it's just practice makes perfect.
Okay,
It's just one of those things.
Gruski the Dogski has got a quick question for us, for both of us. What do you think we'll see in the sense of assault armor when GW finally release that close combat range?
Um, what's a hard one? For me personally, for my personal preference, I'd like to see like Primaris like with shields and thunder hammers and like power swords in the kind of aggressor armor. But I don't. I'm not too sure if they'll do it in aggressor armor or they'll go to an even more bulkier armor. Because the problem with aggressor armor is that the argument that we have now is it really Terminator armor because Terminator armor has a couple of key things like teleportation that aggressor armor does not have. Um, so uh, it's just one of the things. Will they go to that next stage and make an even like a kind of Centurion aggressor kind of outfit? I'm not too sure. I'm definitely. I think at the moment the next stage is more to fast attack vehicles, which hopefully is going to be previewed this 25th of March, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so we'll see then, Mr. Dogski. But yeah,
Mm.
we'll see. We'll see.
I reckon a power scimitar.
Scimitar.
Why
Boom.
not? I mean,
Hmm.
switch it up. The Primaris, from an outsider perspective, the Primaris armor looks a lot more curvy. It looks a lot more rounded, a lot more sleek than a standard Space Marine armor. So having
Well,
something clunky like a a power hammer or warhammer or something like that, or a power sword, which is just nice and straight, it kind of defeats the purpose. I'd like to
well, I
see
think.
something curved.
Well, I actually think the White Scar new Captain model has that, if I'm not mistaken, because they have that kind of stylish effect with their weapons because they're very Mongolian themed.
Mm.
Well, you can argue that they're very Oriental themed now, but back in like the White Scars back in the day, they were basically just Mongols in space. Just instead of horses, they had jet bikes and just going around chopping orcs' heads off and stuff like that.
Well, I think
Um,
Doug Elms, who's got the White Scar cosplay, he's just got another guy to model up the sword to get 3D printed. So I think it's the
oh,
Captain
nice,
sword. So he's going to have that printed up and done up pretty soon for his.
nice,
Mm.
nice, 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 nice. Sweet.
Slade said he predicts it will be a lieutenant.
I love tenants. Yes, of course. That's what GW always release. Would it though? I mean, it's like saying drop pods will be OP for tabletop. Why would Primaris have powered weapons? Well, Primaris already have power weapons. It's just not available on a broader scale. That sergeants can take them in your normal intercessor squads. Your captains, your lieutenants, all those like HQ models, they basically have access to them. I always find it funny that a sergeant has access to a thunder hammer but a captain does not when it comes to the Primaris. Sorry, we're going to like proper tabletop talk, but yeah,
No, that's
that's a
fine.
bit of a
No, no,
weird one.
no, no, no. This is good because
It's a bit weird one.
understand that all of this,
Mm,
this is the rules of the game still comply to cosplay as well. Because if all of a sudden I rock out, with a captain with a thunderhammer,
mm.
I'm going to get somebody who's a bit of a law Nazi come up and go, oh, that's not right. And that just defeats the purpose. I'd rather have it right. So having a clear understanding of what we can have and what we can't is good. It's like, can a let's say, can a Primaris aggressor use a plasma pistol?
Well, see, this is the whole thing of the argument of rule of cool. I always do my army of rule of cool. Like I've got some aggressors, and I basically kit bash them to have halberds, power fists, power swords, which they can't take on the tabletop. But I just go for standard and say, screw it. If it looks nice, I'll take it. I'm not going to use it like that on the tabletop. I'm not going to be that kind of guy that says, no, he's got a thunder hammer. Screw you guys. I'll just say, all right, these are just bolt storm, but just ignore the other weapons. It's
So
just
Blade
about
said,
looking
Captain with a
pretty
thunderhammer
nice.
looks like heresy, or smells like heresy.
Smells like hammer. Captain of Thunder is amazing. Smash captains. Actually, I always laugh at smash captains now because I blow them off the board before they even get to me. Well, I used to before GW fixed the problem.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
rule of cool is rule of cool. I mean, if it's going to look cool, it's going to look cool. So, the Primaris aggressor that I'm doing actually has the rattle guns on his arms,
yeah,
and I'm going to make those actually spin. And
that'd be awesome. Yeah, the old bone, the what they called, bolt storm gauntlets. They're called. Yeah,
bolt storm gauntlets. Now, actually, speaking
yeah,
about that, I mean, I've noticed that the guns clip on the outside of the gauntlets, as in like they're
yeah,
almost. And I'm pretty much going to make them magnetically attach. Um, Now, those gauntlets, are they like baby power fists, or are they just normal
yeah.
hands?
Well, you know the power fists because what well on the tactics is that you shoot and then you get into charge range, move up, and then each one's a power fist. Then so it's basically power fisting targets and just smashing things apart. That's what I use mine. But they're definitely power fist. They actually have the power fist profile on their stats. That's why they're so big and
Double
um,
power fists, yes.
yeah, double power fists.
So it's going to be a lot of fun to actually make those and get them all going. Um,
Mm,
Now the actual pods that go onto the back onto the power pack on the back, they'll
mm,
be detachable as well. So it'll have the chains going down to the guns, or the belts, I should say, going down to the guns.
mm.
And then I'll have that whole assembly be able to be detached and swapped over with flamers.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that'd be real nice.
So, and that way I
Mm.
can mix and match the armor, as well as the rocket
Yeah,
pod. The rocket pods will come off separately, and it'll still look perfectly fine, like it's like it's supposed to be. Um,
nice. Should have like a kind of a wind machine and some like I don't know like LEDs in this and like some sheets with the flamers. So you activate it, it's like it looks like a flame weapon or smoke. Can you have like a smoke pipe in there so
Hang on,
smoke comes out?
I've got something for that. Oh, let's see if I can get this little
That'd be
sucker to
pretty cool.
work.
Or just shoot fireworks. That'd be pretty hilarious. Everyone get
I don't
out
know
the way.
if you can see that. So it'll pop up in the feed in a second. So I picked this little sucker up.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's actually a uh, what do you call it? One of those cheap lantern flame lights. Picked it up on eBay
Okay.
for like $15 or so, and I thought I can re-rig this so that acts like the flames on a flamer.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be really
So
awesome.
put it through some translucent foam. It'll look really effective, and yeah, we'll have really good looking flamers without having smoke. So because unfortunately we
That'd
can't
be
use smoke generators here anymore.
ah okay. You're not allowed to do that. Oh well. Oh well.
Well, most other
Just
countries still allow you to use like vape generators for your cosplays.
mm,
In Australia, it's now under the anti-smoking laws. So outside is fine, but within a venue, you can't use, even if it has nothing but glycol in it, you still can't use it.
oh, okay.
So which sucks because it
It's a shame.
reduces your effects down.
Yeah.
Um, but Slade, the hands on my Terminator are fully functioning and fully working, as well as my Power Fist on my Marine is fully functioning. Um, I use a mechanical articulation, not the rubber banded drawstring style. So in a pinch, I could replace them with with some little motors or actuators, and still, have the whole thing working perfectly fine on a remote control if I needed to.
Nice. Very nice.
So,
Very nice indeed.
water-powered rocket pods. Water-powered rocket. Oof.
Like a Nerf gun to
Yeah,
press it.
actually, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Is build the rocket pod at the top of the Primaris Aggressor as a Nerf weapon. It's like boom, boom, boom. Just start launching these Nerf grenades off. Get
Be
away from
amazing.
me, heretic.
Scare the children. Flee, children.
So, all right. Well, what's next on the agenda? We've been chatting about cosplay bits and pieces. What's new in the Warhammer world?
Not real. Not well. The whole gas skull thing came out, didn't it? Really. Um, it's a lot of mixed reaction to that with the box set and stuff. I've done some videos covering that. Basically, what they've done, they've made this new box set, which they put as Space Wolves versus Orcs, and they've included the Gaskell and Ragnar, which are two big characters, and they said you can only get it in this box set for now. And what they normally do, this box set will probably run for about 4 to 6 months now before they come out as separate models.
Hmm.
And I don't think the box set's worth it, to be completely fair. It says it's a Space Wolf box set, and the only Space Wolf that's in the box set is Ragnar. The others is just a generic Space Marines painted up in Space Wolf colors. There's nothing Space Wolfy about them at all.
No, that's a bit
They
ordinary.
haven't got like when you think Space Wolf, you expect fur, all the runes, the teeth, all the really cool markings that you expect. Um, it's pretty finger. But that's really the main news is coming at the end of the month in March. That's where I expect to see a lot more talking and stuff like that
Mm.
coming.
So we got Zyphers just says, what's your favorite non-Warhammer passion, you weirdos?
Mine, oh well. If it's non like this, like fantasy or things like that, I'm a huge football fan. Um, I mean real
Manchester.
foot. Yeah, I mean real football, not like American hand egg.
Yeah,
This is
soccer.
proper
Soccer.
football. Yeah, no, you don't call it soccer. Don't. No, no,
So I knew
no,
that'd get to you.
no, no. It's football. Yeah, that's what I'm really big
So
into.
you sit in the background and go,
Um,
hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey.
mm, that's about it.
That's about it. And
Uh,
you drink lots of beer.
yeah, yeah, that too. I'll get really drunk.
So, what for me at the moment, it's always been cosplay. It's always been bits and pieces. That's been my hobby for the moment. Um, yeah, I don't really do much else. Outside of work, we all work. At least most of us work. But
Yeah.
okay, Jalio said, could the rumors of a ninth edition reveal still be a possibility?
That's what the talk is of the town. I've heard a lot of things about that. But I've also heard that it's not really going to be like when you say a new edition for 40K, like a lot of people think from seventh to eighth, like what we've had, where eighth is a brand new different game to seventh edition. What I'm hearing is that this is going to be eighth edition, but with a few things changed and tacked on. So it's more or less going to be like an 8.5 rather than a full on whole new edition where there's a bunch of new things you have to relearn. So
Oh, look, I'm not even game to
yeah,
dive
we'll
into
see.
it because there's just so much to know.
Yeah, there,
Um,
there, there really is so much to go with it. Like I'm not really a professional tabletop or like I just play it for the fun banter and stuff like that. Like when people would say, "Oh, Valrak, why are you picking this or why are you picking that?" I like it. It's fun. I'm not in that. I'm not one of these competitive gamers or anything like that. If I lose, I lose. It gives a balls at the end of the day. I just go there just to have some fun and speak to my friends more. It's more of a social aspect for me to meet new
mm,
people and stuff like that and just have a laugh.
oh, it's better than a coffee
Um,
shop.
yeah, yeah.
But look, I've got true respect for model painters. I mean, I've watched you sitting there painting those models and stuff like that, and it's yeah, that's I'd require a microscope to do that shit.
Well, the thing is that my stuff is tabletop standard. Like, there's nothing special about my stuff. I only really, well, I did start painting with 8th edition coming out because I've always been a huge fan of 40k. Like, I've always had the models and stuff in the past, but I never painted them or anything like that because I never played. Like, before all this, I was like in the army and stuff like that, so I never really got to play anything. By the time you sat somewhere in the army, you got like moved like the week later or anything, so you couldn't really form gaming groups or anything that much. So I was just more into the law side with like books and yeah, just all the reading and just do it that way.
All right, well, actually,
And then when
I'm gonna stop you there for a second because I really want to know where the hell do you start with the books? It's like,
oh
is there an
well
actual chronological beginning, next? I mean, because I've
well
looked on the internet, I can't find it anywhere.
a lot of people always say start with Horus Heresy with Horus Rising. I say don't do that. I say if you really want to get into 40k and get a grasp of what Warhammer really is, start with the Eisenhorn series. Um, I think that is truly, well, for me, it's the greatest series of books I've ever read. It's the greatest love story I've ever read. A lot of people say it's a love story. What are you on about? But it really is. It's the underlying theme of it is a love story for me, and yeah, it's all great. It's written by Dan Abnett, and they trust me, it will blow you away because Eisenhorn, it's only well, it is a trilogy. Well, I say it's a trilogy. There is a fourth book out, but it's not really a book dedicated. It's short stories and a little bit of a big story at the end, but nothing too fancy. But it's 3 book series, and yeah, it's 3 books, and it's good. It really is good. Really, just do it. Do it. Start Eisenhorn. If you haven't read Eisenhorn, what are you doing with your life? Get on
All right,
Eisenhorn.
I'll start on Eisenhorn
It's amazing.
because I mean I've been
Yeah.
looking for a start, but I haven't actually found because the problem is I started listening to I don't even know which book it was. It was just a random book or an audio book, and I started listening, and it just the names, the people, the the characters, made no sense whatsoever. And it's like I'm going over here to do this. Do what? How? What?
Yeah.
Where? What? So you lose interest within the first 10, 15 minutes of it, where
Yeah. I get it. Yeah. Really.
hmm,
There's so much to it. Like, I remember I was a huge fan of the horror series ever since I read about it, and when I learned that they're doing a book series dedicated to it, I was like, oh, holy shit, this is amazing. Like, the Horus Heresy was only supposed to be a 3 books. It's only supposed to just be up to Horus's fall, basically, and then the rest is up to your imagination. But since it sold so well, they were like, oh my god, look at all this money. So they're like, screw it, let's go full steam ahead. Let's do it all the way to the Siege of Terror. And I'm so glad they did do that because I've got these books at the moment. These are the special edition ones that you get for the Siege of Terror series. These ones
hmm
here, and they're it's so good because it's just Imperial Fists and Iron Warriors and White Scars and Blood Angels. So it's all fighting. It's so good.
they look really
It
good
really
too.
is. Yeah, oh yeah, they're really expensive. They're like £50 a book because they're like the super limited edition rare ones. They're all signed by the authors and stuff like that. I think there's only going to be 6 of them. It's a 6 part series. So technically, if you wanted to just read about the Siege of Terror, you can just get those 6 books
Mm.
and just do it from there. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
mean, at
good.
£50 each, I probably wouldn't want to open them or touch them or.
Yeah, but that's for like the super edition ones for me on my shelf. But if you want to get like the ebooks, you can. They're a lot more cheaper. I think like what
Mm.
15, £20 or something like that. I think.
So, all right. Well, what we might do is wrap it up here. We've been going on for an hour
Yeah.
now,
Oh,
and
well, that's good.
I know at times just gotten away on us.
Yeah,
So,
time flies when you have fun.
we'll just open up the floor to anyone else. Does anyone else want to throw in a quick question or bits and pieces? So Jalio said, honestly started recently, and have read Dark Imperium, Plague Wars, Belisarius, Crawl, The Great Work, Dante, Devastation of Baal, and Mephiston, Crit of Light.
Yep. Yeah, that's yeah. Those are more of the books that are set in the new set. Well, Dante and Devastation of Baal technically, well, Devastation of Baal technically happens at the end of the Gathering, well, beginning of the Gathering Storm. But those books he just mentioned are all after Rebooty's return and stuff like that, and the whole Primaris and stuff. So yeah, there's some those are kind of books if you want to be like updated with the lore and stuff.
Mm.
But yeah.
So, sorry, mate, we don't have the ability to actually show images and stuff on this stream at the point. I've just got it set up for interview style. So, but we'll have a look at your
Sure.
Fabius Bile next time around, and or on my next stream. All right. Well, thank you, Chapter Master Valrak, for this wonderful
Boom.
time
No
chilling
worries.
and talking crap because obviously we're going to be in lockdown now, and I can see we'll be sitting here waffling shit a
I've
lot
stocked
more.
up on a lot of beans. I've got all my beans. It's okay. I'll be safe. I'm gonna build a wall of beans.
It's gonna be
So I
you're gonna
go
have a
over and
wall of
throw in the
cans
fist.
of beans around your chair. It's
Yep.
gonna the
I am
throne
fortifying
of
this
beans.
position. Yep. Fortifying this position with baked beans. It'd be amazing.
Zypher says I
Right
stole
then.
Terry's wallet. Oh dear. All right. So anyway, thank you very much for being on my stream and chilling out with me. It's been
No worries.
fantastic. And what we'll do now is we will sign out. Thanks, guys, for watching.
Bye.